Hello and welcome. A very special feature for you today here on WorldSBK.com. I have the privilege to be joined by the most successful World Superbike rider there has ever been. 5 World Superbike Championships, nearly 90 race wins, 170 podiums, and thousands of points. But it all comes down to one man. It can only, of course, be Jonathan Rea. He's joining us to relive that first victory he took for Kawasaki. Hard to believe it's 5 years ago. Jonathan, hello and welcome.
Hey, Kiko, how are you?
I'm good. Hope you're well too. Just before we get into this, obviously we're just coming to the end of the warm-up lap. How was your feelings coming into this race? This was an iconic race for you and the start of a real era of World Superbike.
Joe, it was massive. I felt so much pressure in this race because I wanted to go out and do a good job. It was my first race for Kawasaki, and during the warm-up lap, it's sort of goes away. You know, you're in the zone. Just see me flicking a tire off there. Must have had some bugs on there from the siding lap. Just make sure I hit that first line, you know, get as far forward to the line as possible, and then now's the nervous tension before the lights go out.
Absolutely. First race of the year. Lots of changes on this grid this year. You've come across from Honda to Kawasaki. Leon's come from Honda to Aprilia. Michael van der Mark's come up. Alex is still on Suzuki with a new teammate, but we're about to get underway. Anyway, red lights will come on any minute, and as soon as they go out, the first race of 2015 underway, the first race of the new year underway, and a typical Jonathan Rea start there. Great off the lights.
Yeah, no, that's. I've been getting good starts. As soon as I started with the Kawi, I felt really good off the line. You know, it's one of the strong points. And Phillip Island was one of them races that year. I remember I just wanted to control it from the front because we knew how, you know, Leon being my teammate in 2014, a really funny story actually. We were on the beach this week with our families, and we sort of made a break-even deal. I said, mate, I'd love to come out of here with a race win. You know, I'd even split race wins with you. You know, if I could win one, you could win one, that would be great. And, you know, going into the first race, I knew he was going to be strong because we have that Monday, Tuesday practice before the Phillip Island race. He had moved to Aprilia. The bike was very easy on the tyres. It was fast as well. So it was kind of unknown territory for us both. But I knew my best chance to win was to get away at the front and try and make my rhythm and understand how things were going.
Tyres always a talking point at Phillip Island, but you're already leading. You've led your first racing lap on the Kawasaki, and you're actually starting just to put a tiny bit of distance. We see Troy Bayliss dishing it out there downfield, but you've got about half a second, 3/4 of a second already. That's quite an impressive first lap.
Yeah, you know, Arturo Perez, my mechanic, he's so good with the pit board signals, so I was closely paying attention to that. Also, there's a few areas in Phillip Island where you can really hear the bike behind you. Honda hairpin and MG hairpin being the two. And you know, this was one area. I think I had a crash here during practice over Lucky Heights. I just lost the rear a little bit, so that was an area where I was struggling with a little bit of confidence. But it was about me trying to always put my nose in the wind going into the final corner, because I was exercising the whole race. Would I have enough speed to get out of that corner and lead over the line, or would I have to cross my fingers and exit there from behind and use a slipstream effect? So it was a race of understanding what was what. It's very hard to lead around Phillip Island because of the wind direction. You know, that can change. And because of the fast flow in nature, it's always easy to get sucked along in a slipstream, if you like. So for me, I was just concentrating on hitting my points. And if the guys were there behind me, they were there. So that's why you would see that gap yo-yoing quite a lot. I was just trying to do my thing. And I think, you know, both Chaz and Leon working together, they could bridge that gap when they wanted to.
Coming into the season, before obviously you do a little bit of testing, but you've been to Phillip Island so many times with the Honda. What was the differences? You're already in a race situation. You've done the test before. You've done the practice. How does it feel now to be racing as Chaz makes a move on Leon?
Yeah, it was just a huge weight off my shoulders. I always felt at Honda at Phillip Island the actual bike worked pretty well there. I enjoyed it. But the biggest difference was actually from a chassis balance point of view. It didn't weight transfer as much. It was more stable, for example. So you could we could use that potential in the braking areas, where the Honda, it liked to pitch quite a lot. So it meant, just as we see the Honda sending Tom Sykes straight at turn one.
Out into the weeds.
So from agility point of view, the Honda maybe had a bit of a plus there, but just looking back at that 2015 Kawasaki, the thing was on rails. You know, it looked so planted. In fact, you know, rewatching this, I think I can go back to our garage now and try to improve our 2020 bike. It's a bit like that. You know, I jumped on a package that was already well honed. This bike was at the end of its development era. You know, we had a new model coming in 16. So, you know, both Tom Sykes and Loris Baz before me and Joanne Lascourse had done a great job with their crews to bring Kawasaki to where they were.
We're coming up to about half race distance now. The same three at the front, yourself, Leon, Chaz, having a little bit of a battle. Coming into this race, did you think it would be yourself, Leon and Chaz, or was you expecting Tom, even though his record at Phillip Island's not the best? Jordi Torres, obviously a rookie as well.
You know, I really felt, you know, Chaz is so funny because he's so strong, but never shows his full potential during practices. So he's a guy you go on Saturday night to bed, but you just know he's going to be there on Sunday, you know, especially back then. And, you know, Leon was the unknown quantity, but you do so many laps at Phillip Island before the race, you kind of understand. And with my pit board signals, you see coming down the start straight here, just on the left-hand side, all the pit board signals, I'll be getting signals like the gap, how many's in the group, is there 2 in the group? Is there 3? The names of the riders. So Leon was a bit optimistic there and went wide. But now, at this point, we're halfway, and I'm thinking, yeah, I'm not getting away. The group's still together. So just understand where Leon's strong, you know. And coming around here, I'll be notified that Chaz is right behind me. So I know the group's a little bit bigger, so I can't relax too much. So it's trying to get back to the front and control it from the front. I tried to do that in 2020 too, because you're at less risk at the front of the group than you are, for example,
absolutely,
from Jordi, and maybe not stick a pass on Leon as well.
I think we're coming up now we're just coming into the last third of this race. So what's your plan there? Leon's passed you a little bit. Chaz is in there now. When someone passes you at Phillip Island, there's a lot of opportunities to slipstream back. But first race on a new bike, you're still finding your limits a little bit, I suppose.
So what we've seen happen there on the exit of the hairpin is Leon actually missed the gear. He came out and I was invited straight back past. So whilst I was trying to find my limits, I felt really comfortable with the bike. I knew exactly where I was strong on the track. And one of the places where I was strong, I didn't feel good going in here to, you know, MG hairpin. I felt that if I just carried that tight defensive line, I was overloading the front too much. Likewise, going down the start-finish straight, especially with there we go with Arturo. He says there's 3 guys plus 0, and it's Davis and Haslam that's directly behind. And that gives me enough information to know the gap's still nothing. So, but they're not coming past, you know. So just do what I'm doing and stay in the front. But like I say, it was constantly a race of me working out, should I lead out at the last corner? And I knew with Leon, you know, I got a few laps behind him in the race to know that there's no way I could pass him in the space of the last corner to the line. So this gave me a little bit of a, you know, this is where the pace dropped in the race a little bit, because Chaz wasn't coming through so much, but Leon was way back, and I didn't see that on the pit board. So all I seen was the group had shrunk, but Leon quietly just chipped away at the gap whilst I was relaxed out front, and he would arrive back in the last lap.
He made a massive mistake there at Stoner Corner. How he kept that from an enormous accident, I don't know, but he's already trying to fight back through. Now this is the first time we really see in the race you're with Chaz more than you're with Leon. Had you battled with Chaz more than Leon in the past few years? I mean, you were teammates with Leon the year before. So did you know, which rider would you rather have been in that last lap fight with then?
You know, this is at this point in my career, you know, I was on a proper, let's say, competitive package where I could be there week in, week out. Likewise, so was Chaz. So that created the rivalry. He's top class guy, and you put two good guys on good bikes, you get good battles, and that's where I felt like from this point forward, I raced a lot more with Chaz. When I first entered Superbike, both Leon and I were on. I was with the 10K Honda, he was with the Stiggy Honda, and then he went to the Alstar team. And through that 2010 year, I'd battled with Leon. I remember a fun battle at Kyalami, but this is crunch time. This is 2 laps to go. As you can see, a typical Phillip Island race. Everyone's together. That's the importance of slipstreaming there. You see me breaking the wind in the front, but quite surprising actually. They couldn't come through. So the ZX10R definitely had a bit of speed in 2015.
It was holding its own down the front straight there. 2 laps to go. The first race with Kawasaki. Leon Cerso to Aprilia. Chaz is eager. He's had a whole year without a victory on that bike. This is going to come down to really who wants it more. And as a rider, how do you get into that mindset to say that I want it the most?
So I want to win this race at all costs. And but I know the only thing, bear in mind what I told you before, I don't feel good in MG. I want to defend into MG. I don't want to have to stick a pass there. So I feel like I need to lead out of Siberia. And if I don't, it's panic stations. A little bit of a wheelie there, that just gives Leon a little bit more of a run up. That's the perfect slipstream. If he pops out and goes through, he's going to have to be late in the brakes. He did. You see, he popped the brakes there. He braked and then released, and then again went through. So that was a big move. To do that on Leon into turn 2 and keep the inside just shows you how well Perry and the guys had the bike set up. It was on complete rails. I think Leon has another look here because I can feel him. I can feel the wind going into Stoner Corner, and now I just have to defend. But I think I left the door open a little bit, or Leon just stuck it down and block pass. Fair play. But now I'm panicking because I'm not good in the MG. I have to get a little bit, not enough power to get out of Siberia, but now I see Leon just stopped a little bit, and I just tried to run around the outside, help with a little bit of curve and pop it on the inside. Now I'm panicking a little bit because I'm thinking, please don't dive down the inside, Leon, because I'm already going to be on my limit. So try to close the door a little bit, stop him up. You know what I did? I didn't actually get on the gas too early. I just delayed that little bit, try and back it up. And now for me, it's about just trying to get to that line. Get in here. Has he showed me a wheel? No. So it's about getting out of here as fast as I can, get tucked in. And what I learned about Phillip Island here is it's so easy to use the slipstream. Had I have swerved to one way, he would have came through. So I held that line straight down the middle and got it done. Man, that felt so good, that race. This is the part as a racer you don't see, that I'd love to have, a little wonder in the TV to see how your team are celebrating, but such relief, to come there and get it done. It's pretty much my hometown as well. My wife's from there, so I had a lot of friends and family out, and yeah, amazing.
Especially with the expectation that Jonathan finally's got a great chance. He's got a full factory bike, say. This is Jonathan's breakthrough year, and you lived up to that expectation in race 1 straight out the blocks. First pole position at Phillip Island, never even had a podium there before, and straight on top of the box.
Yeah. It was mad, more relief than anything. It's just, I had such a good feeling. You see this camaraderie, it was just like we were supposed to be together, this group of guys. It felt we won together, we lost together. They've taught me so much, and just looking back at them scenes, it's what a journey it's been since then. But it was a good opening chapter there at Phillip Island, and great race as well. That move around the outside at the hay shed was a pretty tough one.
Jonathan, it has been a pleasure to talk through that with you. But if you could sum up that whole experience, your first race win with Kawasaki, your first win at Phillip Island, given your family connections, in one word, what would that one word be?
Relief.
Relief. We'll leave it there. Jonathan, thank you so much for talking us through that.
Thank you.